The 250,000 active servicemen who formed the backbone of Britain's Royal Navy began the war in confident mood. Many served on battleships, the Navy's main strategic weapon. One of the most powerful battleships in the fleet was HMS Barham, commissioned at the beginning of the First World War. In 1939, David Holmes was a trainee gunner.
When I was drafted from the training ship to HMS Barham, I was so proud to be aboard it. And I was told that it was unsinkable. We believed and we knew that we were the superior navy in the world. Nobody could touch us. And this is something that demands a man to live up to those standards. And it's constantly drilled into you. You're in the best navy in the world.
The German Navy chose the U-boat to spearhead its offensive at sea. Submarines had proved a major success during the First World War, and from 1936, the Reichsmarine invested in a new generation of U-boats. It was a danger seriously underestimated by the Royal Navy. On the 25th of November 1941, HMS Barham was patrolling in the Mediterranean.
I'd just come down from the bridge, and I was standing on deck drinking a cup of tea with a couple of mates of mine. When the first torpedo struck, I thought there would be nothing to worry about because we'd been torpedoed before and we'd got back into port. When the second torpedo struck, I thought there might be something to worry about. But when the third and fourth torpedo struck, then I knew we were in trouble because the ship went over at a terrific list very quickly. So much so that I couldn't stand on deck. Like many other crew, we stood on the hull. And it was about 4 minutes, the ship blew up. And I went up in the sky. But fortunately, blast reacts in different ways. Sometimes you can get away with it, sometimes you don't. You're just in little pieces. And I went up, how high I don't know. It's strange, really, what you think of when under those circumstances. I was checking all my limbs to see if I got all my limbs before I hit the water. And down I went. At the instant I hit the water, the tidal wave from the explosion was coming into the sea, and I was rolled over and over under the oily water. I came up and I saw a pal of mine, Bing. His name was Crosby, we called him Bing. He couldn't swim, I know. I said, come on, Bing, get on this boom. But unfortunately, the boom kept rolling and rolling and rolling, and I think he muttered something about he'd lost his legs, and he disappeared below the water.
Of the 1,300 men who served on HMS Barham, 861 were lost. The sinking of the Barham by a single U-boat exposed the weakness of the Royal Navy's strategy based on the battleship as the key weapon in the war at sea.
Well, I was terribly upset because you get this butterfly experience in your tummy inside, thinking, well, if they can sink that ship as easy as that, what chance have we got?